And welcome back once again. We think we're live right now as we were having some technical difficulties with the Wi Fi connection here. Steve Willits, along with the HBN crew, Edmund Stadium for a little Wesco 3A soccer tonight. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks versus the Shorewood Thunderbirds. We are now showing 38 minutes left in the match, 42 minutes in, no score tonight. Thought we might see a little bit of an offensive barrage, and we haven't seen anything yet, so we're still waiting for our first goal. Certainly Shorewood and Mountlake Terrace, both with opportunities. Shorewood possibly with a few more than maybe Mountlake Terrace. And here comes a run at goal right now, and lo and behold, there's our first goal of the night. It's a sister act. One Monolily sister to the other as Caitlin assisting on the goal to Morgan. Nice job there. Caitlin had the ball on the right side. Morgan coming across on her left, putting it just a little bit of out in front of her. The Twins getting it done. This is what they've been doing ever since they got to Shorewood. Only juniors. They were both all Wesco players as freshmen, both all area players last year. And showing that two Monolilies is better than one, getting on the board there. So just as we come back on the air, I think as we are, believe we're on the air anyway, Shorewood with the opening goal of the night. 43rd minute. And looking for another opportunity there, pushing that one towards the goal, getting turned away. Again, Sierra Sonko really having a great game in the goal tonight for Mountlake Terrace. She's already stopped a few different shots. Shorewood kind of feeling it now, pushing ahead. Lily feeling like she might have had a shot there for a second goal momentarily. Ball's pushed out just a little bit too far in front of her. Goal kick coming up here. Shorewood with possibly another look there. That time, Caitlin Monolily having the ball. Getting it taken away there by the Hawks. Mountlake Terrace. Sea of red flowing on their sideline right now as we have a number of the players there trying to get the ball over the midfield mark. Not going to happen, though, as Shorewood comes away with it once again. Nice job defending the play there as Natalie Collins, the junior, knocks it out of bounds. And you might be able to hear from a little bit of our audio there. No fans in the stands tonight. However, Mountlake Terrace, I believe that's the JV soccer team down here. Is that the cheer squad? Oh, it is the cheer squad. I stand corrected. And we get yet another goal there. Shorewood, I looked down at the cheer squad, and all of a sudden I look up, and Goet is putting the ball into the back of the net. Did not see who got the assist. We apologize for that, but right to left. Another goal there. 2 goals in 2 minutes. We were quiet for so long on the goal front, and then all of a sudden, here we go. Just as we started making reference to the fact that we weren't getting many goals earlier. And I got to give credit where credit is due. Hopefully I got this right now. Ayla Goet scoring the goal. I think we were saying her name wrong earlier. Got a text or a tweet out from Elise correcting me on the name there. So good timing on that one. Just as we get back on the air, she gets a goal. Make sure that we give her the proper shout out here. And Shorewood with already 2 goals. Go it one more time. Can she? Will she? No, Sonko denies her. Great look by Goet. Also a nice play by the goalkeeper, though. Just didn't get that ball quite up high enough as Sonko's able to reach up right around the forehead area, snag it out of the air. Shorewood all of a sudden coming to life here. 2 goals within a 2-minute time frame. And almost had a chance for a third right there. We know that Shorewood can score in bunches. We saw them score 17 goals against Mariner last week. Put up 4 against Cedar Crest. And nice job by the Hawks there. Michaela Nelson, number 2, taking the ball down the field, kicking it back. Gomez, number 9. Shorewood finally clearing it out. A lot of contact there. The whistle's finally going to blow. Abby Parker getting tied up with Caitlin Monolili. Jaden Smith going to take the direct kick there. Right side, everybody lining up over on the left. Shoots it directly towards the goal. Sonko bobbles it momentarily, keeps it in front of her nicely, comes away with it. Lets everybody clear on down the field. Should mention up and coming games for both of these two teams. Mountlake Terrace. They are going to be taking on Marysville Pilchuck. 7:30 Thursday night. That game is at Marysville Pilchuck. And then they're going to be heading over to Shoreline Stadium next Tuesday as the Hawks will then take on Shorecrest. Another push here by Shorewood. Nice job on the defensive end there as Natalie Collins rides the ball out of bounds. Number 2, Carrie Tanaka, for those Shorewood fans that might be watching, trying to figure out who that is. Normally has a number 14 jersey. She's wearing the number 2 tonight. Shorewood's next game coming up. They're going to be at home against Archbishop Murphy on Thursday, 7 p.m. start time. And they'll be right back here at Edmond Stadium next Tuesday, a week from tonight, taking on the Meadowdale Mavericks. Sounds like we've got our viewers starting to come back on there. As again, we apologize for getting knocked off the air there for a little while during the later part of the first half. A first half that was scoreless. If you're just finding out that we're back on, I think we got on about 7 minutes ago. I think it was about a minute and a half into the start of the second half, just in time to see 2 quick goals. First goal was Morgan Monolili with the assist from sister Caitlin. Second goal was Ayla Goet, number 3, the junior. And again, we're one-person broadcast staff up here as far as being on the air and spotting and keeping stats for myself here. So I did miss the assist on that one. And again, we apologize. But nonetheless, 2 goals. And hopefully I think we got back on the air for both of them. Shorewood trying to put on another attack here. Taking it out to the right side. It's Lilia Pate getting the ball to Tanaka. Trying to cross it into the middle. Parker waiting for it, kicks it out of bounds. Shorewood will keep it down here on this end. It's Grace Camilla who will be throwing the ball in, wearing the number 5. Now down under the 30-minute mark as far as time left to play. Nice job there by Goet stepping in front of the defender there as Camilla gave her a chance to play that ball. Just got the ball knocked a little bit too far out in front of her. Couldn't quite catch up to it. The ball goes out of bounds, and we get another goal kick. I want to give a shout out here tonight to the Olsen family watching us in Connecticut. Hopefully they're still with us here. I know it's getting a little late there, almost midnight. When we got knocked off, hopefully they were able to come back on with us. If not, they can maybe watch this later on. Sounds like they're family friends or family members of the Cardins watching Natalie play tonight. So told that Tucker, Sadie, and Ryan Sells are keeping an eye on things here and watching as well. I know quite a few of the parents are. We heard about that when we got knocked off the air, so hopefully they're all back on and checking out their daughters and having a good time with us. Watching what's been a solid match here so far. Two fairly evenly matched teams, certainly a lot closer than it's been in years past. Again, a lot of good things to take away. Both of these teams with their share of underclassmen. Definitely, as far as I'm concerned anyway, it's about the class of 2021 this year, since this is their senior year, and it's been a rough one. Just good to have them back out here. But certainly, if you start to look towards the future and what these two programs are going to be working with over the next few years, the future is bright for both. Terrace doing a nice job of defending that play. Cortezo, number 6, another freshman, knocking that ball out. Coach Ferris having a word with the referee there for a moment. I think he might have wanted a handball there. I think he might have gotten one. Let's see here. Shorewood with the free kick coming up here. 26:43 and counting is what the clock is showing right now. Ball bouncing around a little bit there in the middle of the field. A little dangerous if you're a Hawks fan. 3 defenders coming in. Gathering around Goet. Finally getting the ball away. Shorewood able to keep it here on their end of the field. Keep the possession. Crossing the ball into the middle. On a Lilly shot on goal. Count it! Morgan Montalili with her second goal of the game. Left-footed crosser there in the middle. They're about 15 yards out. 20 yards out, and we have a 3-0 game there. Great driving shot there. Low shot. Kind of a surprise there. I didn't even know she was lining up to shoot that ball, and all of a sudden it just came flying off the foot, and suddenly, before Sierra Sonko even had a chance to react, that ball was in the right side of the net. Beautiful shot. Shorewood all of a sudden pulling away here a little bit. A game that was 0-0 for the first 42 minutes of the match. And in the last 13 minutes, we've seen 3 goals by Shorewood. We're going to get another Shorewood substitution. And we did finally figure out who number 19 is, as we mentioned earlier. A few jersey changes tonight. That's Tegan Ah, who's normally number 13. She's wearing the number 19, so we'll give Tegan a nice shout out there. Always one of the more fun, challenging things about high school sports. Every once in a while, you show up with roster in hand and numbers and come to find out that some of the players who you thought were wearing one uniform number are wearing something different. It happens. Mountlake Terrace looking to get something going there, crossing the ball from left to right, goes out of bounds. I'm going to say that it was last touched by Goet. Mountlake Terrace keeping the possession. Angelo Camo working hard over here to keep us on the air. He's a second heart attack we've given him here in the last 5 days here, trying to keep our sporting events on the air here and working with some of the challenging Wi-Fi situations here in the building. So again, hopefully everybody's bearing with us and being patient as we're finally back on here. Like Terrace trying to get something going. Shorewood clears it out. Nice job there by number 10, Severn. He's had the ball for a good 35 yards and still going there, trying to get by another defender. Doing an outstanding job of pushing that ball down the field. Part of that freshman duo for Shorewood. Shorewood, once again, front of the goal there, 20 yards out. Chloe Parker finally doing her part to clear the ball out. Mentioned it earlier, 3 consecutive Thursday nights we will be on the air here bringing you West Coast soccer, Edmonds School District soccer more specifically. Coming up this Thursday night, we've got a doubleheader of varsity games starting at 5:30. Cascade versus Meadowdale, followed by Mariner versus Edmonds Woodway at 7:30. And then on March 18th, a week from this Thursday, we've got a JV match at 5:30, Mountlake Terrace versus Edmonds Woodway, followed by a varsity match, Meadowdale versus Edmonds Woodway. And then on the 25th, also a Thursday, JV match between Kamiak and Mountlake Terrace at 5:30, Meadowdale versus Mountlake Terrace varsity at 7:30. Stay tuned. Interesting as everybody's trying to figure out ways to stream sporting events and provide coverage in ways they've never done before, obviously with no fans in the stands. Some school districts are doing Facebook Live. We don't all have an Angelo Camo in school like Mountlake Terrace does to provide this kind of content like we do here. Although, as you can see, we still had our challenges with some of the internet connections there, but certainly folks at stspn.com, they're doing some games in the Snohomish area and doing a fine job of that. Various school districts starting up their own YouTube pages to try to do live content. Everybody trying to come up with a new way to make sure that parents and family members and fellow classmates can watch athletes participate this year. And we've got Daphne Andrews checking into the game, number 3. She's coming in for number 9, Veronica Gomez. The Mountlake Terrace cheer squad apparently likes that idea as they start to cheer her on. Should mention we do have a little note here. I reached out to a couple folks to try to get some fun anecdotal information for some of the players. Daphne and family, 6 cats. 6-cat family. And of course, Daphne's father, Scott, is the JV coach for Mountlake Terrace. As they look to claw their way back into this one. Okay, no more cat puns for tonight. We got those out of the way. Mountlake Terrace continuing to pass the ball around there. The Mountlake Terrace cheer team doing a nice job of making some noise down there. Trying to root on their team. And we have now come to the 20-minute mark. We're halfway through the second half, which means we're 3/4 of the way through. That's my Mountlake Terrace math coming back into play there. 20 minutes left in the match. We've got a little stoppage here as the sounds like a little confusion there on the referee's behalf as to whose ball it is. After a short conference, they've determined that it will be Shorewood ball. Again, Shorewood, they can hold on to this victory tonight. This would be their 3rd consecutive win of the season, 3-0. Showing some patience there, getting the ball over from the right to the left side. Nice little juke move there. I believe that was Goet. Hawks getting a header on it, sending the ball back out. Shorewood once again, though, on the attack. Here we go into the middle of the field. Nice job by Nelson clearing it away. Let's say there was contact there. Thunderbirds with a free kick coming up here. 33 yards out from the goal. One hopper right in front of Sonko. Bounces off of her legs. She keeps it in front of her. Needed to as 4 different Thunderbirds immediately as soon as they saw the ball hit the turf. Made a beeline right towards her. She was able to pick it up and get it out of there. 18 minutes left in the match here. Mountlake Terrace with yet another throw-in opportunity. Checking in with Angelo Como here. It sounds like we've still got some viewers on. We were going to try to jump on earlier and watch the comment line a little bit as I was trying to get logged in here, and every time I do, there's action on the field here, so I might still try to do that here in a moment. That was the halftime plan up until we got a little sidetracked with our issue here, so bear with us. But goal kick coming up from Heather Campbell, looking to keep the clean sheet going here. Hawks have found the going a little bit rough here in the second half, trying to get something going. Carden with the ball finally. Andrews had it momentarily, got knocked down. Couldn't keep control. Shorewood with the drive now. Severn pushing it up the field. Nice little move by Severn, getting it into the middle, crossing it over to Loden right side. Jukes one player, shot on goal. Count it! Aaliyah Loden with a nice move there. Faked out a defender, moved to the left, got Sonko off balance and put it right in between Sonko and the post there on the right side into the net. 4-0 Shorewood as they start to pull away here in the second half. Loudon, the freshman, getting her first goal of the night. And again, the Hawks are a very young team. We kind of knew coming in that when you play young, talented players, you have good nights, you have bad nights. Not a bad night here, though, for the most part. They've certainly played well. We said their time will come. Bigger things are ahead for them, without a doubt, and certainly showing a lot more determination and fight than we've seen from them in the past. And this is a team that I think is going to be fun to watch over the next few years. And speaking of which, nice shot there from number 2. Michaela Nelson sending that ball over everybody's head. Clock showing 15:24 to go. Coach Ferris shouting out some instructions to his Thunderbird players, also making a substitution here. It appears as though Jill Anberg coming off a little gingerly there too. She might have gotten a little tangled up with somebody out there as she heads to the sideline. Looks to be okay though. So again, if you've tuned in late, Mountlake Terrace and Shorewood, it's a 0-0 game, 42 minutes into the match. Shorewood in the last 20 minutes or so starting to open things up a bit. 2 goals over the course of, I guess it was about 2.5 minutes. First one coming at the 43-minute mark. A few minutes later, a third goal, and just momentarily, a couple minutes ago, we had our 4th goal of the night. Shorewood, 4 goals over the span of about 22 minutes. And looking for more right now. Here we go one more time. Severn, number 10, pushing the ball over. That's Pate, number 7. Parker comes over to defend, and we're going to get another goal kick. Lilia Pate, number 7. Can't miss her out there with those pink shoes. Definitely stand out a little bit. Sonko, who's definitely getting quite the workout here in the second half, is Shorewood's been on the attack quite a bit here. Gets that ball kicked away. Nice job initially by the Hawks there. That was truly another freshman, number 8, getting the ball over to a teammate, and they're now going to rule that Shorewood touched the ball last. So Mountlake Terrace with another throw in. And yet another substitution coming for Shorewood. This time, Leah Nottingham, sophomore, checking in. It looks as though she's going to come in for Kate Gertz, the junior. Gertz getting a nice fist bump from the coach. Assuming that her night is probably over here, as we're now down under 12:40 to go here in the match. A lot of contact there. Finally, like Terrace driven out of bounds. That was number 17, Morgan Damshin with the ball. Pate on the defensive side of things. To remind fans of both schools that we will be broadcasting football games from right here at Edmond Stadium this Friday night. Both of your teams will be in action. It'll be right here on HBN. 5 o'clock game, Linwood versus Shorewood. And that game will be followed by our 8 p.m. start time game. That would be Mountlake Terrace versus Cedar Crest. Not exactly a ringing endorsement for it, but I will point out that all 4 teams played their first game of the season last week on Saturday. All 4 teams, dare I say it, all 4 teams were shut out. So all 4 teams looking for not only their first win of the year, also for their first points. Or another way to look at it, they might be very evenly matched. So stay tuned for that. Again, Shorewood, Linwood, 5 o'clock start time. Mountlake Terrace, Cedar Crest, 8 p.m. Take a second there, but they're finally going to rule that it was Shorewood thrown. We get another whistle, quick whistle. Now down to 10 and a half minutes to go. Shorewood potentially looking for another goal. Nice footwork there by the freshman, Severn. Finally gets the ball taken away. And that's going to be last touched by the Hawks. Shorewood keeping the possession right here. Shorewood last week again defeating Mariner 17-0, and we were talking to the 2 coaches before the game, Coach Ferris and Coach Cox, mentioning how against Mariner it was tough. They were trying to play as many players as they could. They didn't want to necessarily run up the score. It just kind of sort of was happening, and the game got away from everybody. And talked about how they wanted to learn to kind of taper off a little bit and pull back when they get those big leads like that. So what do they do? Friday night, they jump out to a 4-1 lead on Cedar Crest, and Cedar Crest scores the last 2 goals of the game, makes it 4-3, and they were kind of joking that, yeah, we don't want to necessarily run up the score, but at the same time, we don't want to necessarily call off the team too quickly either and let the other team back into it. So was curious to see how that was going to play out tonight when Shorewood got that 4-goal lead, and lo and behold, they're still playing. They're still on the offensive side of things, and another corner kick coming up here with under 9 minutes to go, and we'll see what Shorewood does right now. Beautiful play right into the middle. Sonko coming out from the goal there, gets a fingertip on it or gets a hand on it, knocks it in front of her, finally dives on the ball, prevents everybody from scoring there. And the score sheet's going to show that Sonko gave up 4 goals tonight, but she's really, really done a nice job of keeping a lot of things in front of her. Give Shorewood a lot of credit on those goals. And Sonko, as a freshman last year, 2nd team All-Wesco, and you can see why as Pate gets pushed out of bounds there, driven out of bounds by Natalie Collins. And we're going to get yet another corner kick coming up from Shorewood. You knew I was going to do that at least once tonight. Jaden Smith coming over to take the corner kick. See what the plan is this time around. Beautiful kick right into the middle. Shot on goal. Is it in? It's a goal. I believe that hit off of a defender. It looked like it anyway. Pate is going to get credit for the goal. I believe Pate kicked that ball, or he had it hit off of her foot. It looked like it was going to go far left. And I think as the ball was getting ready to sail out of bounds, and nobody's fault, they just happened to be standing there. I couldn't see which hawk it was, but I believe it went off of one of the Terrace players' feet or legs and into the goal. Pate just kicking that one with enough authority and had enough on it to where it just ricocheted off of a Hawk player. Nothing Sonko could do at that point. And we have a 5-0 game all of a sudden. So we're now down under the 7-minute mark remaining here in the match. Definitely the tale of two halves here tonight for the Hawks. They looked sharp in the first 40 minutes. Looked like they were going to make this really interesting tonight. And Shorewood showing some of that veteran experience, showing the talent. Just playing a very nice, well-rounded game. Parker ushers that ball back. It's a little bit of a shove there at the end. Shea Martell coming in there. I'm not sure that was necessary, but 5-goal game, 7 minutes left. Parker just simply trying to stay between herself and Sonko until she got that ball. No call, though. Referees are going to let it play as we're now down under the 6-minute mark. And it will be interesting to see how this Shorewood team ends up finishing out this year. No playoffs again this year. Only a 9-game schedule as we consolidate everything in order to get all 3 seasons in. Certainly, you start to look at the Shorewood schedule and what's to come. Archbishop Murphy, Meadowdale, Cascade, Kamiak, Shorecrest, and Linwood. It's a favorable schedule for a very good Shorewood team. I could see them definitely. Of course, coaches don't like it when you talk about this. They like to talk about things from a one game at a time perspective, but Shorewood's certainly in a position based on the way that they're looking and how they're playing. Could be a very nice looking win-loss record by the end of the year if things continue to go this way. We talked earlier in the broadcast about the run 2 years ago when they made it all the way to the district championship game and then ultimately made it into the state quarterfinals. But even last year's team had a nice season, 9-5 in league play. Made it into the districts, lost the opener to Marysville Getchell, who ultimately went on to, I believe, win the district championship. Ended up beating Arlington the very next game, 4-1, before ultimately getting knocked out of the playoffs and knocked out of the districts by Snohomish 1-0, a good Snohomish program. So April Van Ashey always has the Panthers competing at a fairly high level. All right, clock now showing 4:02 left. Obviously, the game has been decided. Right now, it's yet to be determined if we're going to get a clean sheet or not. That's really the rest of the drama that's left at this point. Shorewood once again making another substitution. This is Shea Bartell checking back into the game. Very interesting. There's apparently the referee not very happy with it. Martell, as I was able to listen in there, told the coach that she needs to lose the attitude when she checks in. It looked like she started to run on the field before she was even waved in, and apparently must have said something to the referee as she went by, but nonetheless, stops the game for a moment, tells the coach. And the clock now showing 3 minutes to go. Hawks still looking to try to get on the board here. One last push. Here we go, right down the left sideline. Nice job on the defensive side of things, giving chase. Loden, number 11, getting all the way down there, rushing down the field as Damshin with a nice little run of her own down the left side. It looked as though Damshin was well behind the defensive players there initially, and Loden shows some wheels and gets the ball out of bounds. 2:19 to go here. And as always is the case, once we get to the 2-minute mark, the scoreboard clock will turn off and the game clock will be kept on the field. Again, not a lot of suspense or drama here in the end of this one, as we already know the outcome and we know who's going to win the game. It's just a matter of whether or not Mountlake Terrace could potentially try to threaten for a goal here. It's looking less and less probable as we go along here as that ball is kicked out of bounds. And now we are, in fact, at that 2-minute mark. So again, we want to congratulate all of the members of the, nice job on the save there by Sonko. Almost another goal there. We congratulate Shorewood on another victory tonight. Damshin trying to chase that one down. A nice job by Campbell to get over there to grab it. Into the final minute of the match right now. Shorewood looking for their second shutout in 3 matches this season. Again, outscoring their opponents now 26-3 on the year. Pushing the ball back. Should be hearing that whistle just about any moment now. And there it is. There is the whistle, and there is your final score. Shorewood, once again, defeating Mountlake Terrace tonight, 5-0, running the Thunderbirds record to 3-0 on the year. Mountlake Terrace will go into their next match with a record of 1 win and 2 losses. I'd like to thank everybody once again for participating tonight and for helping out, everybody that did their part in putting this broadcast together. Marilyn, Andrea, Tara, Angelo. And of course, the folks here at the stadium, Rich Pettick and his crew, always doing a fantastic job. A night that belonged to the Shorewood Thunderbirds, JV and varsity. Two games in the books. Shorewood outscoring Mountlake Terrace in those 2 games, 9-0 combined. All right, and with that, I think we're going to go ahead and sign out right now. So once again, your final score tonight, Shorewood 5, Mountlake Terrace 0. Thunderbirds 3-0 on the season, looking very impressive, looking sharp. A lot of young players, a lot of veteran players, all Wesco caliber. I think this is going to be a pretty good year for the Thunderbirds. And of course, again, can't say it enough, Mountlake Terrace Hawks fans, young team, very impressive talent-wise. I think better days are yet to come for you, and I think you played a really good team tonight. So again, final score, Shorewood 5, Mountlake Terrace 0. Thank you for tuning in, and we remind you one more time, doubleheader of soccer right here at Edmond Stadium, Thursday nights, 2 varsity games starting at 5:30. If you like watching varsity Wesco soccer, tune in then on HBN. For everybody else on the crew here, I'm Steve Willits. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening.